Fire extinguishers are usually designed to tackle one or more classes of fire, and all extinguishers that conform to current regulations are colored red. And the size of the extinguisher provided for any particular location depends upon the fire risk and the persons who may need to use it. And there are 7 basic types extinguishing equipment, such as the water, aqueous film forming foam, dry powder, carbon dioxide, wet chemical, and fire blanket. Water extinguishers are most commonly found in offices and other places of work where the combustible material is carbonaceous like wood, paper, or plastic, and water extinguishes the fire by cooling, and the water is applied to the fire through a discharge hose which allows the water to be played on the fire, and the pressure within the extinguisher is indicated on the neck of the cylinder. While AFFF extinguishers are almost identical to the water type extinguisher, apart from the fact that they have a foam additive in the water that increases the efficiency of the extinguisher and therefore creates a quicker knockdown with fewer media, and it also extinguishes the fire by cooling. While foam extinguishers again are similar in construction to water type extinguishers, but the foam is being expelled from the body of the cylinder by stored pressure, and because the foam is less dense than the water, it floats on the burning surfaces of oil and other flammable liquids, and it extinguishes the fire by preventing air getting to the fuel. While the dry powder is expelled from the extinguisher by the stored pressure in a CO2 cylinder, and when the CO2 is operated, the dry powder is transformed into a liquid state and discharges through the hose to the nozzle, and dry powder extinguishes the fire by forming a barrier between the burning fuel and the air. Carbon dioxide extinguishers only contain the CO2 which has been pressurized to such an extent that it's a liquid, and when the operating lever is depressed, the liquid CO2 moves out through the discharge tube, and at the end of the tube is a horn which is provided to slow the rush of pressurized CO2 and direct it at the fire. And these extinguishers work by smoothing that they replace the immediate atmosphere of the air around the fire with an inert gas. That's one that doesn't support combustion. And carbon dioxide is the only medium that can be used to safely fight fires that involve electrical equipment. While the wet chemical fire extinguishers have been developed specifically for use of fires involving cooking oils and fats, and they are the most effective type of extinguisher for this type of fire risk. And the extinguishers work by discharging the wet chemical agent through a spray type nozzle onto the surface of burning oil or the fat, and the wet chemical agent reacts with the burning oil or fat to form a blanket across the fuel surface that extinguishes the fire by excluding air and by preventing the release of flammable vapors. And in general, extinguishers and fire blankets should be positioned at locations where they are accessible for immediate use, and extinguishers for general protection should be near stairways, in corridors or landings, and close to exits. And at the same time, extinguishers shouldn't be located where a potential fire might prevent access to them, or in concealed positions behind doors, in cupboards or deep recesses, or in positions where they might cause obstruction to exit routes or be damaged by trolley or vehicles, or over or close to a heating appliances, or where they may be subject to extreme of heat or cold, or where they are exposed to wet or damp atmospheres. And as well, they should be positioned so that it's not necessary to travel more than 30 meters from a fire to an extinguisher, and extinguishers should be mounted on a bracket so that the carrying handle is 1 meter above the floor for large extinguishers and about 1.5 meters for a smaller one. And also dangerous locations should be avoided. For example, foam extinguishers shouldn't be positioned next to molten salt baths, and water extinguishers shouldn't be sited near high voltage equipment, and the care should also be taken to ensure that a heavy extinguisher doesn't itself cause injuries by being dislodged and falling onto limbs or bodies. And extinguishers installed should be installed in specifically designed brackets, and when necessary, the positions of extinguishers should be indicated by signs, and there should be a record of a type, number, and location of the extinguishers within the building or the workplace. And as in the case with all fire protection systems, portable firefighting equipment must be subject to an active monitoring, and persons responsible for fire safety at work will need to ensure that extinguishers are provided, sited, inspected, and tested in line with the manufacturer's recommendation. And this must include an annual test and inspection by a competent person. In addition, extinguishers should be periodically inspected to ensure that they are in place and are full and are in good condition and have indeed been tested by a competent person within the relevant period. Here's the end of this lecture. Thanks for watching and see you later.